Thinking about moving to Nashville and considering a suburb like Spring Hill? Spring Hill is the Nashville suburb my family settled into a few years ago, and we love it. Mostly. Nashville has an amazing and diverse selection of suburbs to choose from, and I honestly think Spring Hill is one of the best. But if you're curious about reasons why this city might not be right for you, stick around because I'm not gonna pull my punches and I'm getting started right now. Moving to Spring Hill, Tennessee a few years ago is a decision I do not regret whatsoever. Thankfully, my wife and I made the decision to purchase a home here before the market absolutely skyrocketed. And then interest rates soared as well, which has kept so many people in the market to buy a home on the sidelines, including some of my clients. My name is Vegh, and if this is your first time to the channel, I'm a local real estate agent, and I make content like this every week to help inform you about what the best fit in Nashville might be. If you're considering a move here, my team and I would be happy to help you through the process of buying a home in Nashville. So reach out by call, text, or email, and I'd be honored to help. All my contact info is down in the description. Getting started with what came to mind when I thought about what I love here, it's definitely the convenience. Spring Hill is located right alongside I-65, so not only do you have a straight shot up into areas such as Franklin and Brentwood, but of course we have direct access to downtown Nashville, and that's a big plus for me. More than that though, it comes down to how Spring Hill is laid out and its amenities. First of all, over on Main Street running north and south through the city, we've got a great selection of shops, grocery stores, and restaurants, especially at our big strip mall known as the Crossings. A trip to Main Street will yield just about anything you would need on a daily basis. The only problem is the traffic on that road, but I'll get to that later. Second, we actually have an additional shopping hub over on Port Royal Road that is continuing to be developed and has some of my favorite stops in the city. Port Royal Road has a selection of shops, restaurants, my family's favorite ice cream stop, as well as a Kroger with a huge selection that I visit on an almost daily basis. And generally, wherever you happen to live in Spring Hill, you can get to one of these hubs really quickly. Convenient access to amenities is probably my #1 concern when it comes to moving to a new town. And Spring Hill has exceeded my expectations, so I absolutely love this aspect of living here. What I don't love so much is Spring Hill's mediocre restaurant selection. Now, part of this may be due to so many popular restaurants here in town closing down during and after the pandemic. And I have heard many locals lament the loss of these restaurants as they were longtime favorites. For my part, since I've lived here starting in December of 2020, while I've found plenty of good food here, I simply haven't been wowed by our selection. Now, when I say mediocre selection, I'm not saying we don't have a lot of restaurants, because Spring Hill has plenty of them. And I'm not saying we don't have a few standouts. Some of the ones I do enjoy include the amazing Italian takeout at Antonucci's, an experience enhanced by meeting and chatting with the hospitable owner Bob, and Cali Burrito, which definitely has the best burritos in town, though I gotta say I favor their steak quesadillas. And we also have what I would consider the best food truck in Nashville, Music City Gyros. Extra loaded fries with gyros? Mwah. Now, I've always been a foodie and I've tried so many of our restaurants, and sadly, most of them just haven't wowed me like the must-visit spots in other towns I've lived before. And this also makes a date night with my wife a challenge, as we generally need to leave Spring Hill if we want to make it a wow-worthy dining experience. All that being said, I don't hate the food here. I just hate that we really don't have anything to brag about. Something we definitely can brag about is Spring Hill's safety. And I honestly think this factor is what has attracted so many families who are moving to the Nashville area. In fact, Spring Hill actually ranks in the top 10 of just about any list of the most safe cities in Tennessee you will find. This is due to having extremely low rates per capita of violent crime and property crime, making Spring Hill a much safer place to live than the majority of Tennessee on average. It's the kind of place where you still see kids playing in the streets with one another when they don't have their eyes glued to a screen. Having recently adopted and becoming a father, this factor of living in Spring Hill, Tennessee has become all the more important, and I honestly feel pretty lucky that we landed here. Now, on the flip side, while we might be a safe, and some may still say quaint Nashville suburb, we also fit the stereotype of the quaint southern town as we have a lack of entertainment options. For all the wide variety of amenities we do have, and I'm definitely not complaining in that regard, there just isn't much in the way of entertainment in Spring Hill. Going back to what I mentioned before about taking my wife on a date, it's not just a lack of standout restaurants that make venturing out of town a necessity. Now, to be fair, I've lived in plenty of other towns that were also like this, but in this case, it's particularly surprising to me, given how much Spring Hill's population and variety of businesses have grown in the last decade, that we still lack in the entertainment department. We do have a great AMC theater and a few nice parks to take the kiddos to, as well as a great community pool and at least one arcade that's still open to my knowledge. But other than that, if you want to have a fun day out with the family, once again, you're probably leaving Spring Hill. Now, I'm about to share with you what is definitely my biggest problem with living in Spring Hill, and it's one I see irate residents complaining about all the time. But first, I have to share with you what makes me most proud of Spring Hill, our fantastic schools, because we have some pretty great options here. Now, before I dive into this further, and I'm going to give you some of my specific personal experience with my own children, I should mention that Spring Hill is somewhat different in that it is divided by a county line. Part of Spring Hill is in Murray County and part is in Williamson County. The latter county being known for having the best school district in the state of Tennessee. If you're moving to Spring Hill and school options matter to you, make sure you know which schools you will be zoned for before choosing a home here. With that out of the way, my children currently attend an elementary and middle school here in Spring Hill, and while my wife and I have had some concerns about their educations and making sure they catch up after the developmental delays they faced, being moved around in foster care, and the deficiencies of distance learning during the pandemic, because of all that, we have loved the IEP programs made available to our children and been blown away by just how much time, attention, and face-to-face meetings the teachers have given us to make sure we're all working as a team to meet our children's specific educational needs. If you'd like to know more about Spring Hill schools, I will provide a link for you in the description of the video. For my part, again, I feel lucky that we landed here, as I'm confident that my children are going to get the best shot of developing into who they want to be as adults, and that just makes me smile. What does not make me smile is my final big complaint about living in Spring Hill, Tennessee: the traffic. The traffic problems here are twofold. First are the traffic issues getting in and out of Spring Hill. Even though we are 30 to 45 minutes south of Nashville proper, the city's traffic issues have extended out even into our distant suburb. And we often have some pretty serious daily congestion going north or south on I-65, depending on the time of day. Part of the problem is that I-65 condenses to 2 lanes each way as it gets near Spring Hill, so I sincerely hope that they can find a way to widen the highway in the future. We also have the problem of only having the Saturn Parkway exit to get into Spring Hill, but a new exit is in the works that I hope will help with our traffic flow. The second issue is our traffic within Spring Hill city limits, and I just faced my most common traffic issue here this morning. But let me back up a second. Earlier, I mentioned Main Street, which is also known as 31. And this road not only has a ton of businesses and amenities on it, attracting a lot of traffic, but it also serves as an alternative to I-65, going south into Columbia and north into Thompson Station and Franklin. And so the traffic issues on this road can get pretty bad, especially because it's only one lane in each direction through much of Spring Hill. Every morning when I leave the gym, I face the dilemma of either backtracking significantly to get onto I-65 or to sit in the stop and go of 31 and get on I-65 further north. And begrudgingly, I usually find myself creeping along 31, wishing there was a closer exit. The aforementioned Port Royal Road can also have some pretty significant backups at the stoplights during rush hours. All in all, if you were to ask Spring Hill residents what their biggest problem with life in Spring Hill is, I'd bet money most of them would say traffic. Now, everything I just shared are the most significant issues of my love-hate affair with Spring Hill, but I have several more that I'll just mention here quickly. Love the crossings and all the shopping options there. Hate the damage they did to I-65, paint stripping so they could draw new lanes. Love the fact that we have a donut place that serves sushi. Shout out to Daylight Donuts. Hate how many townhomes and condos continue to be developed here. Love the look of most neighborhoods here. Anything else? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I also love my gym, Spring Hill Fitness. Shout out to the owner, Pierre. Great culture and fantastic equipment there. Now, if you'd like a closer look at Spring Hill, I've linked a tour I filmed of 6 different neighborhoods I filmed here in town down in the description. Or you can just watch my full vlog tour right here. Subscribe and do all the things if this was helpful to you and you'd like me to keep you informed about Nashville. Thanks for watching, and I certainly hope to Tennessee you soon.